Francisco, I know it's only been a couple of days now, but obviously a new team for the first time in your career. What has it been like just trying to get acclimated to a new environment, new teammates, things of that nature?
Steve, it's been great so far. This past couple of days, they've been good. Everybody seems nice. Everybody that I talked to has been really nice and joyful to talk to. Yeah, today was the first day we took the field as a team, and it was fun. It was fun to be around the guys, to see what everybody's got, and the work ethic I've been seeing from the guys have been really, really good. The only thing that makes you want to do is elevate your game and get better. Like I said earlier, I have heard nothing but good things about this group of guys, and I just want to be a piece of their puzzle.
Francisco, after the Mets acquired you, they still had a pretty active offseason. The team looks, very different than it did even when you were acquired. Out of curiosity, what is your general thought about what moves the team has made and what the team looks like going into this season?
I think the additions they added to the roster were really good. Having May, having McCann, Amora to the mix, that the good group of guys that they had, and the many others that I haven't mentioned, has been good. I think it's going to be a fun season. I can't wait to continue to get to know the guys more on the daily basis and grind together, and hopefully we can win some ball games.
Tony DeComo, your line is open.
Hey, Francisco. Just curious that, you're coming from obviously a smaller market in Cleveland. Now you're in the biggest market in New York. How much do you kind of relish that idea of being, not just in New York, but a prominent player on a team that a lot of eyeballs are on? A lot of people are interested right now in what the Mets are doing.
It was Tony, correct? There's a lot of people in my screen. Yeah, Tony. To be honest, there's not much difference. There's nobody in the clubhouse. All you guys are here. So I haven't really seen that big market experience, except my Instagram and Twitter and social media pages have grown. Besides that, everything's been the same. Cleveland was a great place. They had a great working environment, and I respect all of them. And so far, it's been similar here. So I don't see you guys on the like in the clubhouse, and I saw a couple of like videographers and photographers on the field, but that's normal, So I haven't really got hit with the big market experience yet.
I also wanted to ask you quickly about the hair. I know you've dyed it in the past. Is there a story you just like the blue?
And I like this blue because then it'll fade to like that grayish, and I didn't want to bleach my hair this time, so it was white kind of, so I just went with something that was gonna last longer, was gonna look clean and look good. I get bored of the way my hair looks, and I don't want to cut it all the time because it takes a little bit longer to grow. So why not dye it with different colors, Maximize saying too, I've run out of hair.
Next up is Justin Toscano.
Hey, Francisco, during your introductory Zoom in January, you were talking about how you wanted to be just kind of a piece of the puzzle, didn't want to come into the clubhouse and take over right away. How do you, get that feel for when you can start being more of a leader and where you fit in? Where does that come?
To be honest, Justin, I just go about my business the right way on a daily basis, and hopefully I earn their trust, and then eventually I'll be able to say more things. Just ask questions right now, get to know them. They help me accommodate myself in the clubhouse and find the fields right now. I barely know where the field's at. I didn't even know where my BP was today. So, so everybody tells me where to go. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have a guideline of how to become a leader, and I don't have a timetable of like I got to be the leader of the team by April or by end of March or July. You know, I just go about my business the right way on a daily basis, and hopefully that's good enough. And if I end up being the leader of the team, you know, it is what it is. I go out there and work as hard as I can to win.
You just mentioned that a lot of the guys were helping accommodate you and show you things, but have any of them or any prospects picked your brain through these first couple days?
Pick my brain? No, it was been just regular conversations. You know, I think people get shy of asking questions. I think I've been the one that's have asked the most questions. They eventually, you know, start asking questions if they feel like they need to ask. If not, you know, they got a great group of hitters here, and usually that's what we talk about as baseball players the most, hitting. We talk defense, but most of the baseball players like hitting better than defense.
Tim Healy, your line is open.
Hi, Francisco. What are the states? What's the state, if any, on the contract negotiation talks between you and the Mets?
There has been none, Tim. We haven't found the time, you know, and I obviously got to get to know the organization, get to know the people, and they have to get to know me. If something comes up, we'll see in the future. That's between my agent and Sandy and the rest of the staff. I just focus on my business, and that's doing things the right way here. Tim, and there's been none assistance, you know, the conversations. I think it's too early, I think. Not sure.
You mentioned last month that you don't want it to leak into opening day. Have you decided on a given date, whether it's opening day or something else that, all right, if you get to there, you don't want to talk about it anymore?
No, the reason why I have said I don't want it to be an opening day because as players, we have a duty, and a duty is show up and win. I can't. It'll be unfair for me and the rest of the team to have an ongoing conversation about extending, whether it's me or other players, and we show up on opening day and our minds is somewhere else and we don't focus on our duty. And then we start losing, then people get on us, you know. It's like, no, we have a duty, and that's winning, showing up to the game, to the field every single day and doing things the right way and hopefully end up with the W that day. That's all we can focus on. And when it comes to negotiations, you know, that's something that's out of the stadium, and it has nothing to do with you know, we're showing up to the game on opening day. I don't. That's why I said I don't want it extend to, if it happens, I don't want it to extend to opening day.
Next question from Disha Thozar.
Hey, Francisco, I was muted before. I'm just wondering what's been the toughest adjustment for you so far, whether that's some of the protocols around here, like you said earlier, you don't really know your way around camp yet, I guess. Has anything just surprised you with the way you're adjusting so far?
Disha, the hardest thing for a player when they first come into spring training is the time. Trying to get your routine down. What time you show up, what time you go to the weight room, what time you go in the batting cage, what time you go do your ground balls, and then find time to eat. You know, like that routine, it's different. I don't want to show up here at 6:15 in the morning. It's way too early. But I also don't want to be the last one and then be running through the whole process. That's been the hardest thing to adjust. I mean, it's only a couple of days. And then finding the fields. Finding the fields, it's in Cleveland, I had it locked down, so I got to figure that one out.
Do you expect kind of that routine or struggling to find that routine to bleed into the season, at least at the beginning?
No. I'll get that down like tomorrow I'm gonna tweak something in my routine. Hopefully, it makes it better. The next day, tweak on it again, and then by games, that's usually I know my routine. I know what time I gotta get to the field. I know the things I gotta get done before I actually go play, and then after that, it'll take care of itself.
Mike Puma, your line is open.
Hey, Francisco. Wondering, what did you think of Tatis's contract extension, and do you think that's something that can kind of serve as a baseline for what you're looking for?
Mike, Tati's got an outstanding deal for him. I'm extremely happy for him. He deserves it. His family deserves it, and that shows that the game is heading in the right direction. You know, there's $300 million players in the same team, so the game's heading in the right direction. I'm happy for him. I'm excited to watch him play for the next 14 years. God willing, he stays healthy and does what he does, and especially being in the National League this year, it'll be fun to play against him, which I've never had the chance to play against him.
And I mean, does any part of you wonder about the merits of testing free agency as opposed to negotiating something in camp?
I've never been scared of free agency, so it's not like I got to rush to sign a deal, or I got to rush. I can't wait for free agency. You know, I live life on a daily basis. So, Mike, I mean, $340 million. It's a great deal. You know, it's a big deal. So I'm happy for him, and I messaged him. I said, "Congrats, man! You did your thing. You did your thing, man. I'm happy for you."
Eddie Coleman, your line is open.
Coleman, I would love to hear you. I can't hear you right now.
There you go. Okay.
Now we
There you go.
There you go. How you doing, Francisco?
I'm doing great, Coleman.
Last year was such a weird season. You know, the link between spring trainings and the short season and that. Did you do anything differently, hitting-wise, fielding-wise, and maybe even weight room-wise, that you wouldn't have normally done because of that coming into this year?
Coleman, last year was a very difficult year for a lot of people. I was blessed to be able to play every game, stay healthy, stay on the field. Yeah, my routine was a little different last year. I didn't give my best in the weight room, and that showed the last week of the season. I got tired. You know, 60 games, I was playing well. I was playing fine. I played well. It was just that last week, you know, I didn't get my couple of hits, and it went down to hitting 240, 230. I don't know what I hit last year, but whatever it wasn't good. So yeah, I just got tired. You know, I didn't give my best in the weight room. So it showed. It showed the last week, and that's pretty much it when it comes to last year's season.
Did you make some adjustments in the off season to make up for that, or no?
No, not really. I mean, I do the same thing every off season. I work as hard as I can to improve in my body, to get better, to get stronger, get faster, or at least maintain certain areas of my game. So it's been the same thing that I do every off season. Work as hard as I can, like I said, and I thought last year went well. It was just that last week, you know, and there's nothing I can do in the offseason to fix what I did the last week. It's doing it during season this year to make sure that stretch don't happen.
And it's hard not to notice the blue New Balance wrap around your blue hair, but I know you've been with New Balance for a while. But I saw online you just put out a signature collection. Why did you decide to do it at this time?
The Lindor one, that's something we've been working on for a while. I'm very humble and excited to announce to the world that I have my own signature shoe, the Lindor one, and an apparel collection with New Balance. It's a blessing. It's a great opportunity, and that's why I went enjoying New Balance. Besides the fact that they're great people, they're great group of guys over there, and the Davis family is outstanding. But to create my own shoe, the Lindor one, I have my apparel collection. It's special. It's unique, and I can't wait for the world to be wearing my shoes on and off the field. And I have a unisex shoe, so girls can also be wearing it. I'm extremely excited. I'm proud. It's a good day for me and my family.
We talked to you about a discount, maybe?
We'll see, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Dave Lennon, your line is open.
Hi, Francisco.
How you doing?
You mentioned, how great everything has been here so far. Can you appreciate how difficult is it? Everybody's talking about an extension and you staying with the Mets long term. How hard is it maybe on both sides to realize that you guys want to be together for 10 years or 12 years? I mean, is there a difficulty to it that maybe we don't see from the outside about, you played with Cleveland. You knew you were comfortable there, You're brand new here. How do both sides know this is something that you guys can do,
There's mutual interest, and like I said earlier, I have never been shy of an extension, Cleveland did what they had to do. They couldn't keep me. They weren't in the position to keep me. They decided to go a different route. David, I have never been shy of an extension, but everything got to make sense. It has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then that's just not fair. And talking about an extension, man, it's like talking about somebody you want to talk about, but at the same time, it's about talking about somebody you don't want to talk about. It's like it's just inedible. You can't not talk about it, but it's mixed feelings, because you want to focus on your craft. You want to focus on winning. You want to focus on what you have on a daily basis, and sometimes on a daily basis it's the extension, because people are bringing it, people are expecting it, or people know free agency is coming up, so they just talk about it. It's fun. It's fun listening to people and expecting and having absolutely no idea what was actually happening. It's fun. Me and my agent, and I'm sure the Mets organization and the Indian organization will laugh at times because people just talk and have no idea.
Do you seem like a guy, Francisco, that can kind of keep that separate? Like
Yeah.
with all that talk kind of being above you all the time, you can focus on the baseball part.
Thank God, David. Otherwise, I would have drove myself nuts. But I'm blessed to be able to separate things from my job. I have a job to do. I'm a dad, so I got to take care of that. I'm a family man. I got siblings, I have nieces, and just separating those things. That's what life is all about. And when you can separate all those things correctly, life is good. When everything blends in, you run in trouble.
Bruce Beck, you are up next.
Francisco, has it hit you yet that you're a member of the New York Mets?
Bruce, of course, man. You can see I'm all blued out, man. Everything's blue in my life right now, blue and orange.
Francisco, what do you expect your teammates to find out about you in the coming weeks, about your attitude, about your work ethic, about your love for the game, about your approach to the game?
Well, I hope they see that I respect the game, I respect them, and I respect the clubhouse. I'm not here to dictate how to do things. I'm not here to throw a rope in the middle of the room and I just carry the rope. I want the rope to be sideways and everybody has a piece of it and walk forward. We want to win. We want to, as a team, we want to send a message to the world that the New York Mets is a real team that wants to win. You know, we're taking this very serious, and hopefully we can all get in the same boat and push forward.
Thank you. Next up, Andy Martino will come to you.
Hi, Francisco. Interested in what made you interested in joining the executive subcommittee in the PA? I'm sure you're nominated, but why you were interested in that kind of work? If you feel like you want to be personally a big part of the talks, CBA talks, and finally just what you think the big issues will be in those talks.
Yeah, and the being in the PA, it's huge. You know, it's being able to impact the game, not just on the field, but also off the field. People played the game the right way and made decisions along the way and helped me get to here. They set the path for me already, and the path stopped. And now it's time for me to continue that path to help the younger players, you know, help the younger players make the game better, you know. So when the younger players come, the game is in a better place than I found it. I found it in a good place, but I want to make it better, you know. That's what it's all about. You don't want to be complacent in life. You don't want to stay stuck. You want to continue to move forward. And people created a path for me, so now it's my time to continue that path and help the next generation and not make the game go sideways. You know, there's certain things that we gotta fight to get back on track and continue to go forward. And yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to continue to be in the executive committee.
In your opinion, what are some of those things, some of those issues that need to be sort of corrected?
Analytics is taking over the game, you know, too much. Analytics are great, you know, they're good, but they don't need to take over the game, you know. That's something that's just, it's not right, you know. Let the players play the game. Also, the game is heading in the wrong direction. You're rewarding teams for losing, you know. Team loses 100 games and they get money at the end of the year, because the bigger market teams or the teams that decided to spend money spend too much money and won. You know, they got to give money away to help other teams, you know. There's money in the industry, and we want it to be fair for everybody. You know, we want the players to make money, we want the owners to make money, and you want everybody else to make money and the fans to enjoy the game. You know, you want to go to the game also and watch players play the game. You know, you want to see excitement. We have been talking about speeding up the game for such a long time, but we have guys running all over the field, you know, or we have the analytics have kicked in the sense that it's making the game a little slower, you know. So yeah, we want this game to continue to be America's game and have a lot of excitement. We want everybody to make money, not just the players. You know, we want everybody to make money, and we want the fans to have a great time at the stadium. You know, performance. We want the fans to have a great time.
Glenn Randazzo, your line is open.
Hey, Francisco. I've read a lot about the relationship you have with your dad and how he instilled switch hitting into you and how big of a factor he's been in your life and in your career. How much does he still offer to you as far as advice when it comes to on the field things, and how much off the field too when it comes to the contracts and all that?
Wayne, I've been blessed with having a great dad and a great mother. And they both are very present in my life right now. My dad is my biggest critic. People always say, oh, in New York, people boo you or they'll be behind you, you know, they're cheering you on, but at the same time, they'll let you know. I'm not scared because my dad has been doing that with me my whole entire life. And I care about people, but I care about my dad the most. And his critics are pretty tough. You know, you get 3 hits, and the last at bat, you rolled over. That's the one he's going to talk about, Wayne. So it's not easy at times dealing with my pops. Sometimes I don't want to call him after the games, but I have to.
Joe Jackson.
Buster Olney, your line is open.
Francisco, hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great, Buster. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So you hear a lot about New York fans being loud. You just referenced Pete Alonso tells great stories about getting personal connections with fans, New York fans, Mets fans who'll say things to him. Have you run across that? You've been recognized? You got some examples of that?
Well, it seems like everywhere I go, people are a great Mets fan. People always say, "Oh, I'm a huge Mets fan." I didn't know that there were that many Mets fans. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, I grew up in Queens," or "Oh, I grew up a Mets fans." You know, every time somebody recognized me, they tell me how much they love the Mets. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming. Hopefully, there's fans in the stadiums and not just 2,000, 4,000. Hopefully, we can get things under control and people, you know, mask up and go to the game and be as loud as they want.
You talked about playing against Tatis Jr. for the first time. You're going to be playing with guys that you probably don't know that well on the Mets. Is there someone on the team that you're kind of looking forward to getting to know because you watched him from afar?
Well, I grew up playing with Thomas Nido and with Edwin Diaz, you know, with Team Puerto Rico and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that, you know, being with people. Thomas Nido, I played with him growing up. Diaz, not so much, but like being from Puerto Rico is great. And the pitching staff here is fun. I have watched it from afar. I know I had an outstanding pitching staff back in Cleveland. But the hitters here, man, they're fun to watch. They're fun to watch because they all have a good path, but they all get there differently. You know, it's like the hands positions are different and the path is similar. So I'm very intrigued to know. I've been asking questions. I'm very intrigued to know how they all get to the same path. You know, is it coming from the hitting coaches, or is it just coming from watching other players and then kind of like everything blends in the same team? But yeah, man, I'm excited just to be with the Mets. I can't emphasize how good they have been this past couple of days, and just yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to play with guys that I know from since I was a little kid.
Thank you.
All right, a few more here. Fernando Rivas, your line is open.
Fernando, it's your turn, man. Fernando.
Trying to get your line open.
Fernando, it's your turn.
Fernando, go ahead and unmute yourself if you would, please.
I think Fernando's got us on pause.
All right, Fernando, we'll come back to you. Let's go next up. Dave Waldstein, your line is open.
Hi, Francisco. You mentioned analytics. I'm wondering if there's any particular thing about analytics that you as a player really hate in game, whether, I don't know, it's like, oh, we're going to have to shift again, or oh, we're going to take out a pitcher, you know, he's pitching great. You know, what are the things that you really dislike personally about analytics?
I'm not a fan of shift. I'm not a fan of it. Obviously, I mean, I'm a hitter. You don't want to hit a hard line drive to right field and being out. So I'm not a fan of that. But also, what's wrong? Analytics are good to prepare yourself. They're good for preparation. You know, they prepare. The the odds, the percentages, those are real things. You know, they're good. They're good. That's why I like analytics. I'm not against it. But when they're telling you how to run the game, you know, how take the pitcher out because this pitcher after 70 pitches he's not good. You know, take the pitcher out, or because you got to take the hitter out because he don't hit lefties. Well, he might see that lefty really good. Not the other ones, but he might see that one. Not all lefties are the same, you know. So there's so many things when they start telling you how to play the game and how to do things. You know, you work your whole entire life to make it to the big leagues and to have the freedom of playing the game. To all of a sudden now I have to move one step because he hits the ball a step from me 80% of the time. Yeah, well, maybe that was against Bieber, but DeGrom is different. They're both really good. Or I have to move 2 steps because he hits the ball in that direction 96% of the times, you know? And it's not that he hits today. It's like, I have to move, and they're telling me to move. It's like, no, man, let me play. Let me have my instincts. Let me do me. I'll die with my instincts. I get really mad when I miss a ball because they were telling me to move the other way, David. It just drives me nuts. But if it's my instincts and I go for the ball and I miss it, I die with it. You know, all right, that's fine, you know? Or if the pitcher, I haven't been in this position, thank God, but if you're going to take me out in the 8th because I've been 0 for 10 against this pitcher, and you're going to take me out and put somebody else because he had got 2 hits against him, and that's no. Like, as an athlete, as a competitor, you want to go out there, David, and you want to beat that guy. He beat you 10 times. I got to beat him once at least, you know? Like, heart says a lot, and determination says a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So, like, analytics are good, but it's to a certain extent. You know, and then analytics are not helping players get paid either. You know? And that's not good either.
Raul Ramos, your line is open.
Saludos, Paquito.
Saludos.
During the 2013 Future Stars game in Queens, you talked to our friend Octavio Sequeira about the struggles that the players coming up had about the language barrier, not having enough money, driving the bus together. When you look back, what do you think that you have accomplished so far? And what message do you want to send to those players that are coming up?
To not get discouraged, to continue to move forward. Yeah, life is rough in the minor leagues. It really is for players that don't have money, and for players that don't speak the language, or for players that are just shy. You know, players that never leave their towns. It could be challenging. It could be difficult. It could feel lonely at times. Do not get discouraged. Continue to move forward. Continue to work, because the dream is bigger than the moment, you know? So just go thrive and try to accomplish your dreams. And don't worry about the situation you're in, because it's going to get better. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There really is.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Raul. We have time for one more. Rich Catino, your line is open.
Hey, Francisco, one of the things that a new shortstop has to kind of do in spring training is get used to a double play partner. Yours will likely be Jeff McNeil. Have you had any conversations with him, and how are you looking forward to working with him on the middle part of the infield defense?
Today was the first time we took ground balls together. It's different. You know, every double play partner is different. I just got to get to know his arm a little bit more and get to know how quick he gets rid of the ball, because that'll dictate how far I play from the bag, and that'll dictate how my double play depth is going to be, whether it's closer or further away from home plate. And then also, I talked to Guillermo yesterday because we took ground balls together. McNeil, we haven't really talked about defense. We talked hitting. We all know he can hit. So, when it comes to defense, that's something that we're going to continue to work as the spring training continues. And, can't wait. Can't wait to get to work with him and get to know him, get to know the things that he does really good and the things that he doesn't do as good. So we can turn a lot of double plays. I hate not turning double plays. Get me out of the innings quicker and my feet.
Okay, I think the mute might be fixed. So, Fernando, we're going to come back to
Fernando,
you.
you back, man? Where you at, Fernando?
All right. Yeah, I'm here. Listen, Ethan, a Spanish question is possible.
Yeah.
All right. Saludos, Francisco.
Saludos.
Bien. Mira, precisamente hablando sobre eso que estaba contestando, la posibilidad, ¿verdad?, de reunirte con segunda base, con el cuadro anterior y cómo es la comunicación, ¿verdad?, desde ahora para poder hacerlo bien durante la temporada regular.
Bueno, pues para eso está el training, para crear comunicación y crear un círculo de confianza. Y pues hasta ahora pues no he tenido la oportunidad de hablar con los muchachos. Hablé con Guillermo para conocerlo un poquito de cómo él le gusta los flips y cosas así, pero con los demás no he hablado. El segundo día, prácticamente el primer día del campamento, pero el segundo día que yo estoy aquí, poquito a poco uno va hablando con ellos y creando esa confianza y sabiendo las mañas, las buenas mañas y las malas mañas también, porque después todas las tenemos. Y al final del día, pues, disfrutar la temporada y hacer mucho double play. ¿Entiendes? Yo, como dije anteriormente, yo odio no hacer double play. A mí me encanta hacer el double play.
Y segundo, obviamente Puerto Rico, hablaste de Puerto Rico, de Edwin y de Nido. Obviamente Puerto Rico tiene una fanaticada fuerte de Nueva York, dividida entre los Yankees y los Mets. Obviamente muchos fanáticos de New York. Ahora contigo, ¿puede haber una oleada de fanáticos convenciéndose para entrar a los Mets contigo?
Definitivo. Sé que Puerto Rico tiene muchos fanáticos en ambos lados, en el Bronx y en Queens. Y hay mucha gente, como decimos nosotros en Puerto Rico, New Yorkican. Que es divertido ver cómo ambos lados, cómo los fanáticos se desvían a ambos lados. Y yo me acuerdo cuando era chiquito ver a Beltrán, a La Escora, a Elga, a Lomar, los Mets, Delgado, en los Mets, y ver cómo los fanáticos, pues, todo el mundo, hubo un tiempo que todo el mundo, en cada liga que tú ibas, había un equipo que se llamaba los Mets, porque pues había muchos boricuas ahí. Espero que esta sea una nueva era de muchos equipos en Puerto Rico que se llaman los Mets.
Good. Francisco, thank you very much for your time. Thank you to everyone.